I know this feeling. That quiet curiosity. That sense that something about history doesn't quite add up. Like you were handed a puzzle with half the pieces missing. So let me talk to you, not lecture you. Just you and me, sitting with the past for a moment. Close your eyes and come with me to ancient Africa. Before ships. Before chains. Before the forgetting. Cities breathing. Markets loud. Scholars arguing under trees. Black Muslims were already there, praying, trading, studying stars, writing laws. This matters. Sit with me because this story matters. Picture early Africa, before Europe ever knew Spain as Spain. The Sahara wasn't a wall yet. It was a road. Black Muslims moved along it with books, trade goods, discipline, and belief. Cities like Timbuktu and Kewa were already humming with scholars. Not myths. Real people. Reading. Writing. Calculating stars. Here's what I mean. Stanley Lane Poole writes that when black Muslims entered Iberia in 711, they didn't arrive as savages. They arrived organized. Trained. Educated. Tariq Ibn Ziyad didn't just cross water. He crossed with purpose. Behind him came judges, engineers, doctors, and teachers. That detail matters. Think about Spain under black Muslim rule. Cordoba alone had paved streets and streetlights when most of Europe slept in mud. Public baths. Hospitals. Libraries holding hundreds of thousands of books. Lane Poole describes students from England and France traveling south just to learn. Imagine that. Europe walking to Africa's children for knowledge. This wasn't accidental. Black Muslims believed learning pleased God. So science and faith lived together. Surgeons studied anatomy. Astronomers mapped the sky. Architects designed arches that still stand. Water systems fed crops year-round. Clean cities. Ordered markets. Laws written, not guessed. And here's the part people avoid. When Christian kingdoms later reclaimed Spain, they didn't start from scratch. They translated Arabic text, copied methods, used Muslim math, medicine, and philosophy. Lane Poole says plainly that Europe's awakening leaned heavily on this borrowed light. Then the source was erased. Books burned. Names changed. Black Muslims were recast as invaders instead of builders. History tightened its grip and memory slipped. Slowly. Quietly. On purpose. There's a human cost to that erasure. Generations grew up believing Africa only received knowledge, never produced it. Children learned to admire distant ancestors while doubting their own blood. That kind of loss doesn't just rewrite textbooks. It rewires confidence. It shapes how a people see their future before it even begins. If you're African, sit with this. Your ancestors didn't wait to be civilized. They carried civilization across deserts and seas. They taught Europe how to think systematically. How to build clean cities. How to preserve knowledge instead of fearing it. This isn't about romance. It's about facts. Spain thrived for centuries under black Muslim leadership. Jews, Christians, and Muslims studied side by side. Lane Poole calls it one of the most enlightened societies medieval Europe ever saw. That doesn't happen by accident. Here's the reveal. Africa didn't lose history because it lacked greatness. It lost history because greatness threatened others. Once memory was removed, confidence collapsed. People started asking permission to exist. But memory can return. When you know black Muslims once ruled Spain with books instead of brute force, something changes. You stop accepting small stories about yourself. You stop shrinking. This story isn't ancient trivia. It's a reminder. You come from builders, thinkers, planners. From people who lit streets while others feared the dark. Once you truly see that, you don't beg history to include you. You walk back in, calm, informed, and unapologetic. And memory is power, whether they admit it.